The ocean was calm that night. No waves, no wind. Just silence. Far below the surface, a small submarine moved slowly through the deep Pacific Trench. Inside, Dr. Ellen Reyes, a top ocean scientist, watched her monitors carefully. She was not looking for fish. She was listening for something strange. Still nothing, her assistant Jonah said, yawning. Ellen shook her head. No. Wait. Hear that? Jonah leaned closer. A soft clicking sound came through the speakers. It was deep, slow, and rhythmic. Click. Click, click. Is it a whale? Jonah asked. No, Ellen said. That's not a whale. That's a pattern. She pressed buttons on the console. The sound grew louder. It wasn't natural. It wasn't from any machine on Earth. It was a signal. Old. Repeating. Then the sound changed. Click dash. Click dash boom. The submarine shook violently. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. Earthquake? Jonah shouted. No, Ellen whispered. Her eyes were wide with fear. Something just woke up. Outside the submarine, the ocean floor cracked open. From the darkness, something huge began to rise. Not a mountain, not a volcano. It was made of metal. A wall, no, a ship appeared, covered in strange symbols, glowing softly. It was longer than a city block and shaped like a blade. Then more walls rose behind it. Hundreds, thousands, all lined up, row by row, buried deep under the ocean for who knows how long. Jonah gasped. That's a fleet, a whole fleet. Ellen stared in shock. Those are warships. The ships didn't move. They just stood there, glowing in silence. But the sea around them felt heavy, powerful, like the ocean itself was holding its breath. Back on land, at the Global Oceanic Command Center, a dozen alerts flashed across the screens. Sir, we're picking up large objects rising from the eyes. Pacific Trench, an officer shouted. Unidentified. No heat signatures, but they're huge. Send drones, the commander ordered, and get me Dr. Reyes, now. Meanwhile, Ellen's submarine slowly rose toward the surface. Her face was pale. Her hands shook. What did we just find? Jonah asked. I don't know, she said. But it's not from now. That signal we heard, it was a command. Something ancient. And it wasn't random. It was waiting. For what? She looked at him. For us. The next morning, the news was already spreading. Satellite photos leaked online. Giant shapes under the sea. Strange lights. Military ships heading to the Pacific. People were scared. What are those things? Are they alien? Are we under attack? The governments of the world said nothing. But late that night, in a hidden underwater base near the trench, Dr. Ellen Reyes stood in front of one of the strange metal walls. It was warm now. Humming. Her fingers brushed over strange carving symbols no one had ever seen before. Suddenly, the wall pulsed. A circle of light appeared. A scanner. It focused on her hand, then on her face. Step back. A soldier yelled, but it was too late. The ship scanned her DNA. A deep voice echoed from inside. The metal. Human detected. Command key accepted. Welcome, Guardian. Everyone froze. Ellen stepped back, her heart racing. Did it just speak? The metal wall began to open. Inside, they saw a long corridor. Lights turned on one by one, like the ship was waking. Up from a long sleep, a screen flickered on above the doorway. It showed stars. War, fire, then Earth appeared. Project Leviathan, status, reactivating. Then a final message. Prepare, they are coming. Ellen turned to the others. This is not just a discovery, she said. It's a warning. The warships under Earth's oceans were not dead. They were waiting. Asterisk the ocean base was now on. Full alert. Soldiers, scientists, and drones filled the tunnels. Everyone wanted to see the ship that spoke, but only Dr. Ellen Reyes had been accepted. No one else could get close. She stood in front of the ship's entrance again. The glowing circle scanned her face and let her through. Behind her, the commander of the base looked nervous. "You're sure it's safe?" "No," Ellen replied, "but it trusts me." That means something. Inside the ship, the hallway was quiet. The lights lit up slowly as she walked. The walls were smooth metal, but warm like skin. It felt alive. At the end of the hallway was a control room. One large chair in the middle, a console in front of it. Ellen stepped forward. Suddenly, the ship spoke again. "DNA confirmed. Human. Lineage match. Authority class level 1. What does that mean?" she asked. The console lit up. Symbols appeared. Strange letters. But as she looked, the symbols changed into English. She could read it now. The message. Sighed. "Welcome to the Leviathan fleet. Input command code to activate." She hesitated. Then she typed a word. "Hello." Nothing happened, but when she placed her hand on the console, a blue light ran up her arm. Biometric key accepted. Core systems unlocking. Ellen felt a deep vibration under her feet. Outside, in. The ocean, the other ships began to respond. One by one, lights turned on. Thousands of massive warships. All of them waiting. All of them waking. Back at the base, alarms went off. "Sir, all ships are powering up. They're connecting to her. She's controlling them." The commander stared at the screens. "This is not possible. These ships, they're ancient, but they're following her like she's their queen." Deep in space, far beyond Pluto, something noticed the change. Alien eyes watched from a dark moon. A message was sent across the galaxy. "Earth's fleet has reactivated. The Guardian lives. Begin invasion protocols." A countdown began. Meanwhile, Ellen found something strange in the control room. A locked file. Marked Origins, Human History Deep Vault. She tapped it. The console blinked. Access requires full fleet activation. Warning. Memory file may alter reality understanding. She tried again. Denied. Then another option appeared. Activate first ship. Y001. Class, Dreadnought. Status, standby. She looked out the window. The massive warship in front of her, the first one to rise from the sea, began to move. Water rushed off its sides. Giant fins extended. Engines roared to life. It broke through the ocean surface. Like a beast, birds flew in panic. Waves slammed against coasts. Satellites picked up the signal instantly. People all over the world watched the news. A massive unknown vessel has emerged from the Pacific Ocean. Authorities are silent. Panic spreads. Inside the ship, Ellen spoke softly. "Why were you hidden?" The ship answered. "We were built for the final war, but Earth was not ready. The Guardian was not born. Until now." She sat in the command chair. A map of Earth appeared. Then the stars. Then red warning lights. Incoming enemies. ETA 7 days. Her heart dropped. Someone or something was coming to attack Earth, and the ancient builders knew this day would come. Back. At the base, Jonah looked at her through the glass window of the command bridge. "You all right, Ellen?" She nodded slowly. "No, but I think this is what I was meant to do." "Why you?" he asked. She looked down at the symbols still glowing. "On her skin, I don't know. But I think my ancestors were part of something big. Something Earth forgot." The Leviathan's engines powered up fully now. The sound shook the ocean floor. All the warships responded, connected in one massive neural link. They were ready. But deep under the Mariana Trench, A different light began to shine. Not blue dot, red dot, and far above Earth, the stars started to move. The enemies had heard the call. They were on their way. Asterisk. The first ship Y001 Leviathan, Dreadnought, was no longer sleeping. Its massive hull broke through the Pacific surface like a mountain rising from the deep. Water poured off its sides. Clouds spun above it, drawn by its strange energy. People along the coast saw it first. Fishermen dropped their nets. Tourists froze. Cameras zoomed in. No flag, no name, no sound. Just power. Inside the command ship. Dr. Ellen Reyes stood in awe. She watched through the glass window of the control deck. The ancient warship was flying, but it wasn't just flying, it was waiting for her. Dreadnought Y001 active, said the AI voice. Standing by for Guardian's command, Ellen turned to the console. What are you? Who built you? The ship replied, We are Leviathans, built by the first humans before the collapse. Hidden until the Guardian bloodline returned. Collapse? She asked. Confused. The AI paused. History locked. Access requires full fleet synchronization. Back. At the ocean base, chaos ruled. Military leaders, scientists, and politicians were arguing. We must take control of that ship. A general shouted. You can't, Jonah snapped. It doesn't answer to anyone, only to her. And who is she? Another man asked. A scientist? A nobody? She's controlling the most powerful ship we've ever seen. But deep down, even they knew Ellen was chosen, not by humans, but by the fleet itself. The Leviathan reached the sky. It hovered above the ocean, silent and still. Then one by one more ships began to move. Some were long and thin like blades. Others were round like floating fortresses. A few were shaped like creatures, with wings, claws, or tails. They were not made for beauty. They were made for war. In orbit. Satellites recorded everything. So did something else. Alien probes, hidden in space, sent signals back to their creators. In a dark corner of the galaxy, an alien emperor watched the footage. His skin was gray, his eyes cold. Earth was supposed to be weak, he growled. We destroyed their old cities, crushed their colonies. How are they rising again? A younger officer spoke. My lord, the Leviathans have returned. The Guardian has awakened. The emperor stood. Then we go to war again. Back on Earth, Ellen received a message from the ship's AI. Enemy fleet approaching. 12,000 ships. ETA. 6 days. She froze. Why are they coming? To finish what they started long ago. Ellen called Jonah to the bridge. We have to prepare. For what? For another war. A big one. She pressed her hand to the console. Light spread across the screen. A full Leviathan network came online. Tens of thousands of ships were ready, sleeping, waiting, but they needed human link commands to unlock. She could activate them, but not all alone. So she made a decision. She sent a message to Earth's leaders. This is Dr. Ellen Reyes. I have control of the Leviathan Dreadnought. I didn't ask for it, but it chose me. I am not your enemy. But something worse is coming. We must unite. I can't unlock the entire fleet alone. I need help people who can be linked to the system. People with the bloodline. The message spread across the world. And something strange happened. Across the globe. A few people, only a few, felt a sudden pain in their arms. Glowing marks appeared, just like Ellen's. Some were soldiers. Some were children. Some were prisoners. But all of them had something in common. They were descendants of the forgotten humans. The first civilization. Ellen smiled as the console lit up. Bloodline match detected. 112 new users. Fleet expansion unlocked. Now, The real army could rise that far below. In the deepest part of the ocean, a new vault began to crack. Inside, a shape much larger than a ship moved for the first time in 10,000 years. Not metal, not machine, living. AI voice whispered to Ellen, "The first guardian has awakened. Prepare for the true war." Asterisk news stations showed the giant warship floating above the Pacific Ocean. People saw it and whispered only one thing: we were never alone. But no one knew the truth, not even world leaders. Only Dr. Ellen Reyes understood that the Leviathans had always been there, watching, waiting, sleeping. And now they were waking up. In orbit above Earth. Alien scout ships arrived. They came quietly. Small, fast, invisible to normal radar, but not to the Leviathans. From her command chair, Ellen saw them on the screen. Unidentified vessels entering low orbit, the ship AI said. Marking as hostile scouts, Jonah leaned over. "How many?" "6, Ellen replied. "But they're not here to fight. They're here to watch." The AI added, "They are. Scanning for weaknesses, preparing invasion data." Ellen gave her first command, "Target them. Do not fire yet." Back in the Pacific, more warships rose from the sea. Some looked like submarines, others like floating towers. Each one linked directly to the Leviathan network around the world. People with glowing marks called inheritors were being flown to secret bases. Military jets, emergency transports, even private ships. Some were trained soldiers. Others had no idea what was happening. One girl was only 12. One man was 92. But each had the blood, and the Leviathans listened to them. They united. Nations War Council. Panic turned into fear. They're activating ancient weapons without permission. A general shouted, "But who gave us permission to survive?" Another officer asked. A silence followed. Then the screen changed. Ellen Reyes appeared. "This is not your war. It began long before you were born. Earth was never defenseless. We just forgot what we used to be." She showed them the incoming alien fleet. 12,000 ships, moving fast, massive, silent, ruthless. They had wiped out other worlds. Now they were coming for Earth. Ellen continued, "We are not weak. Not anymore. The Leviathans are ours. They were. Always ours." Then she cut the feed. The first alien scouts fired. Bright plasma streaked across the sky. They hit one of the smaller Leviathan ships. Smoke. But no damage. The ship turned slowly and locked on. One beam of silent blue light shot upward. The scout ships vanished. Disintegrated. One shot. 6 kills. Jonah's eyes widened. That was overkill. Ellen nodded. That was a warning. In the trench, the deep vault fully opened. Out came a shape bigger than the warships. It had legs, arms, a tail like a dragon. Its body was metal, but it moved like it was alive. Titan-class Guardian prototype, the AI said. Awakened after 12,000 years. It was Earth's last line of defense. Not a ship, a living god of war. On the moon, the alien emperor stared at the report. "Impossible," he growled. "They were supposed to be extinct." "They are not," his advisor whispered. "They are returning." The emperor stood. "Then we will burn the Earth." He gave the order. "Send the fleet, all of it." Back on Earth, Ellen gathered the inheritors on a massive platform inside. The Leviathan core. There were over 100 now. Each one linked to a warship. "You are not soldiers," she told them. "But you are chosen. You carry the code of the ancients. You were born for this." A boy raised his hand. "What if we fail?" Ellen smiled sadly. "Then Earth will be silent forever." The countdown began. Enemy fleet arrival. 5 days. The sky was quiet, the ocean still, but deep below, and far above. The pieces were moving, and Earth, forgotten, underestimated, ignored, was finally standing. Not weak, but ready. Ellen Reyes sat alone in the command chair of the Leviathan dreadnought. The room was dark, except for the soft, blue lights running along the floor. She stared at the screen showing the stars. The alien fleet was getting closer. 4 days left. She whispered, "Who built all of this?" The AI replied, calm and cold, "You did. Your people did." "No," she said. "I'm just a scientist. This is way beyond us." The AI paused for a moment. Then something unlocked. Fleet synchronization complete. All inheritors connected. History vault access granted. A hidden panel slid open in front of her. A new screen appeared. It showed old symbols far older than any Earth language. They changed slowly into English. The title read, "Humanity, the First Empire." 10,000 years ago, humans ruled the stars. They had colonies across galaxies. Fleets beyond number. Technology so advanced, it looked like magic. They weren't primitive. They weren't weak. They were gods. But something went wrong. They fought among themselves. Civil war. Betrayal. A split in the bloodlines. One side wanted peace. The other wanted control. The peaceful side built the Leviathan, fleet a last defense for the day their enemies returned. When the war ended, the winners erased all history. Earth was wiped clean. Technology buried. Memory lost. Only the Leviathans remained, hidden, waiting not until now. Ellen sat frozen. Her hands were shaking. "We were the first," she whispered. "And we forgot." The AI voice spoke again. "You are the last daughter of the architects. The blood of the builders runs in you." Jonah entered the room. "You all right?" She looked up slowly. "We were never meant to be weak. The Earth was never broken, just sleeping." She turned screamed to him. "We built all of this." "Humans did, not aliens. Us." Jonah stepped back. "Then that means," Ellen nodded, "this is our inheritance." Around the world, the inheritors were now in place. Each one had a Leviathan ship. Each one could feel the connection in their mind. The ships weren't just machines. They were alive. Some talked. Some sang. Some showed visions. But all of them were loyal to humans in deep space. The alien fleet crossed into the solar system. 12,000 warships. Carriers. Destroyers. Siege. Beasts. The alien emperor's ship was larger than a moon. "Prepare the weapon," he said. A giant cannon powered by black stars charged in silence. "This time," he said, "we erase Earth completely." Back on Earth, Ellen stood at the Leviathan Nexus Tower. It linked all warships, all pilots, all eyes. She raised her voice. Her words echoed across every ship, every city, every base. "I know you're scared. I am too. But we are not alone. We never were. We carry the blood of the builders. We are the sons and daughters of the first empire. And now, we rise again." The Leviathan warships responded. Engines roared, wings spread. Cannons charged. A single word blinked on every screen. "Ready." Inside the deep trench, the Titan-class Guardian opened its eyes. It rose slowly, taller than any building on Earth. Voice thundered. "Awakened. Command confirmed. Prepare for galactic response protocol." The ocean boiled around it as it walked toward the surface. Ellen turned to Jonah. "They're coming for everything. Then we give them nothing." In the sky, Earth's ships began to rise. Not just one. Not 10, not hundreds, not thousands, A black cloud of steel and light lifted from the oceans and moved into the sky. Satellites blinked. The world held its breath. Stars began to fill with ships. The galaxy had forgotten Earth. Now, Earth was about to remind them. Asterisk. The sky was no longer empty. Earth's ancient fleet had risen. Thousands of Leviathan warships hovered above the oceans. Their engines glowed with deep blue fire. Their hulls pulsed with strange symbols alive and ready. People across the world stared up in silence. Some cried. Some prayed. But all of them understood. Earth had never been weak. Earth had just been sleeping. Far above the moon, the alien fleet arrived. 12,000 warships shaped like monsters, blades, and floating cities. Their lights were red. Their guns aimed at Earth. Inside the command ship, the alien emperor stood tall. He wore armor made from dead planets. His eyes were cold stars. Humanity had its chance, he said. Now we finish what we started. Commander turned to him. But their ships? They're from the old times, the emperor hissed. So are we. On Earth, Dr. Ellen Reyes stood inside the Leviathan Nexus Tower, eyes locked on the battle screen. Jonah stood beside her. They're here. Yes, she whispered. And so are we. The AI spoke in her ear. Final Guardian activating. Titan-class unit now online. Far beneath the Mariana Trench, the ocean exploded upward. A massive shape broke through the gay. Waves the last Guardian. Bigger than any ship. Taller than the clouds. A living machine of war, shaped like a human knight with wings of fire. Its voice shook the planet. Command accepted. Human directive. Protect Earth. Target. Extermination. Fleet. The alien armada opened fire first. Red plasma. Black beams. Gravity bombs. They rained down on Earth's sky like a second storm. But the Leviathan fleet moved as one. Blue shields rose. Counter blasts fired back. Earth ships weren't just strong, they were smarter, faster, older. The alien front lines were crushed in seconds. The Emperor growled. Bring the Omega weapon online. From the center of his fleet, a massive star-killer cannon emerged. It pointed at Earth. Fire. In the last moment before the blast, the last Guardian moved. Its wings spread wide. Its arms lifted. Its body glowed like a sundot. It caught the blast. Held. It and threw it back. The explosion tore through the enemy's core ships, shattering half their line. Inside her ship, Ellen stared at the chaos of war and gave the final order. All Leviathans, full assault. Thousands of Earth warships surged forward. Lasers cut across the stars. Alien ships screamed as they exploded. One inheritor, a teenage girl, guided a Leviathan shaped like a serpent. She spun through enemy lines and tore them apart. Another and other. Old pilot with one eye laughed as his dreadnought split two alien cruisers in half. They were not trained soldiers, but they were human. And they were angry. The alien Emperor's ship was the last left. Massive, black, covered in shields. Ellen's Leviathan flew to the front. Jonah looked at her. This is it, she nodded. Time to remind the galaxy who we are. She sent one message to the alien Emperor. We remember everything now. You should have destroyed us. You failed. She fired. All the Leviathans fired. So did the last Guardian. The Emperor's ship vanished in a wave of white light. The war was over. The stars were quiet again. Back on Earth, Ellen stood on a balcony overlooking the sea. The Leviathan ships slowly returned to the ocean, one by one. But not all. Some would remain in orbit. Some would go with the inheritors to rebuild what was lost. She looked at the sky. We were the first. We were forgotten. But now, we rise again. Jonah stood beside her. Do you think they'll come back? Ellen nodded. Others will. The galaxy is big, full of enemies. But now they'll think twice, Jonah said with a smile. The last Guardian stood on the horizon, half in the sea, half in the sun. Silent. Watching. Waiting. Just like before. Asterisk,